All right, guys, let's keep it going. So, satellites. It's not just a song by Dave Matthews. We're going to talk about what they are, how do they work, are they worth it, and then I will give you guys a peek behind the curtain of my strategy when it comes to them. We talked a little bit about how to attack them in the intro, but we're gonna dive deep. I'll show you my actual results, and I'll let you guys decide if you think they're worth it or not. I don't know how many people come from, a poker background. I don't. I liked watching it. I loved, when they would show the main event on ESPN. And one of the first years that they started showing it is when Chris Moneymaker won the tournament. And I don't know the numbers exactly, but if I remember correctly, I think it was on one of the poker sites. I can't remember which one, but I think it was like a $75 satellite where instead of winning cash, he got entry into the World Series of Poker, which I think was about 10 grand at that time. So he basically turned a $75 satellite ticket to a seat into the World Series of Poker, and then he won the darn thing. And I think at that time it was a record, and I think it was like 2.3 million, 3.2 million, something like that. But that's a crap ton of money for basically $75, and that's crazy best case scenario for him. And that's certainly achievable on DraftKings, but we don't want to lose sight of what we're trying to do. But just that's how much this can enhance your bankroll when done properly. So pretty much the way that they work, you pay your entry fee, and instead of getting cash, you get a ticket to a future tournament. I know a lot of you guys are, always, especially after a big run, I get a lot of comments and messages on Twitter of like, dude, you're right, I did it again, or like, dude, I haven't done what I normally did and blow off my profits and throw it into something I shouldn't be playing in. And that's great. Like, that's what we want, is to be able to have those honest conversations with ourselves, good or bad. But I'm not telling you not to play in those contests. I just think there's a much smarter way to go about it. And my strategy for playing in stuff above my current buy-in level is with satellites and the DraftKings Crowns. So it definitely, your bankroll will thank you for doing it this way. And it's also a personal challenge of, hey, you know what, if I want to play in this tournament, I got to earn my way into it. And by getting, enough tickets to make some noise, I was watching the Olympics a couple years ago, and Shaun White was talking about how leading up to the Olympics, he, in addition to, of course, he wanted to win every event that he did on his way there, but he had a secondary fun goal that he wanted to see how many cars he could win in these tournaments where he was competing for first place. And I forget the number of cars that he won, but I was like, dude, like, I really like that. I want to win as much cash as I can, but I'm going to try to win as many satellite tickets as I can. And just that own personal challenge has opened up a ton of doors for me from building my bankroll. So the big thing here is it's going to get your reps in. This is a quote that we've put in past videos: to whom much has been given, much will be required. To whom much is entrusted, even more will be demanded. So we want to earn our opportunity to move up. And you can do that by building your bankroll. But we talked for over an hour earlier this year about building your bankroll, and the principles for attacking satellites are going to be very similar. Allen Iverson, everybody's seen the video where he crossed up Michael Jordan. It's awesome. It's NBA folklore. It's one of the things that they show in all of the highlight videos of the history of the NBA. But he didn't start there. Like, he worked his way up. Like, he put in his time growing up. He put in his time in high school. He put in his time at Georgetown. I don't think he was there the whole time, but he's got his Jordans on in this photo. He wanted to be like Mike, but before he took on Mike, he had to, dominate his competition at his current level. He did that at Georgetown. He was an early draft pick, and that's what we're doing here with these satellite tickets. Yeah, it's great to win the satellite tickets, but the thing that it's going to give you is going to give you the reps and the confidence of winning tournaments. A lot of these satellite contests are going to be like 120-person fields. Like, if you're struggling and you haven't had a winning streak in a while, just bang out a bunch of these satellites, because you start winning then, and you're like, dude, my process isn't broken. I can win. Just because I haven't had the success that I wanted doesn't mean that I'm not a good player or my process is broken. I'm allocating a certain amount of my bankroll every day to play in tournaments, either tournaments that I want to play in or stuff that I want to learn. But the big thing for me is just like that dopamine kick, that pat on your back satisfaction that you get from winning something. Sometimes when things go bad during a downswing, you're not going to have a ton to hold on to, and winning satellites can definitely help accelerate you through a downswing and rebuild your confidence. This is my strategy for taking shots. A lot of people are like, dude, I'm gonna save like $200. I'm gonna play in this tournament, and it's my chance to make it or try again. And like you can do that. Like that's fine. Like if you're like, hey, I'm gonna every time I have $300 of profit, I'm gonna play in the $4 tournament with 10 grand to first, and I'm gonna try to win it. And that money will typically last you about a week. And if you don't have a big pop, you're probably going to wash out from the variance over the course of about a week. So it's like, all right, well, if you wanted to play in that $4 tournament, you can't win $4 satellite tickets on DraftKings, but you can certainly use your crowns for that. You can save your money that you would have put in that $4 tournament and play in, a dime satellite or a quarter satellite to win a $10 ticket, and then you can play in the $10 tournament that has $50,000 to first in a field about half the size of the $4 tournament. That's how I'm trying to help you guys is to think differently, to think smarter, to think more efficiently. This isn't rocket science, and there's ways to leverage. We talk about leveraging all the time with our lineup. Say we want to leverage the field to get a big pop so they can hit a big payday. And the same thing is leveraging your bankroll and leveraging your buy-ins and leveraging your allocations for, hey, I want to play in that tournament, but I don't want to spend, if you were doing a 20 entries into a $10 tournament, $200, and you have a $500 bankroll, that is not a smart way to go about it. But if you have, you're allocating $10 a day out of your $500 bankroll, that's not a very big piece, and you might be able to turn that into 2 or 3 tickets every couple of days, and it's going to add up pretty quickly. And then over the course of a few weeks, you're going to have your 20 tickets to enter into that tournament, and then you can really see what you're made of. And if you're wanting to know how you stack up against that competition, your Iverson versus Jordan, you're an up-and-comer, low-stakes grinder up against the best in the world. That's how to do it. That's how you can do it and take a shot without, hey, it's life or death. How this goes, it's like, dude, sometimes I take shots and it's awesome. Sometimes it's like, dude, that sucks. Like this, I grinded my ass off to get these tickets, and this did not pay off. But it's like, it costs a significant less amount of my bankroll to the point where it's like, I don't even care. It's like, all right, well, we'll try again. My bankroll's it's still intact, so we can continue to do that. So that's kind of hey, Joey, thanks, appreciate it. That's kind of the high-level view of satellites and my mindset behind it. So we'll stop here, and then we'll start digging into some of the strategy and some of the results of how to attack these things.